wanted to present you Louis Nyffenegger, and he is the CEO and the creator of PentesterLab. But maybe you can present yourself in your own words. I'm sure you will do it better than me.
My name is Louis Nyffenegger. I'm the founder and CEO of PentesterLab. And what PentesterLab is, or what I do, is I teach web hacking and security code review via the online platform, and also via live training on security code review. And I've been working in security for a long time. I started as a security code reviewer, as a security consultant. Then I moved to web hacking and pen testing. And then I did a lot of code review, and then AppSec. And finally, one day, I couldn't do like both PentesterLab and my job at the same time, because I started doing them together. And so I decided I need to like focus and spend my work full time on PentesterLab, and that's what I've been doing for the last I'd say 6 years, something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the platform. That's why one of the reasons why I invited you, because I was using it and it was like really good. I was actually surprised because on first impression, you don't really know what to expect, but then you start doing the labs and they're like really high quality, really well explained, and you explain it in a way. Yeah, I sometimes have to watch some things from 3 sources, and then from the third one, oh, okay, I understand now. But when I was watching your videos, I understood straight away, and like the labs were like really helpful to yeah, make the knowledge better. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to make that comment.
That's great to hear. Great to hear. That's feedback. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah. Another question: what was the biggest challenge with PentesterLab for you?
That's a good question. I don't have like one big. Oh, yeah, I got one biggest challenge. My biggest challenge is I don't have enough time. I wish I could create more content. I wish I could like do more with PentesterLab, and unfortunately, I'm limited by how much time, how many hours I have in a day, and that's probably my biggest challenge. Is I see that there is something like huge amount of work I want to do, and I'm limited because I'm only like I can't do everything I want. That's probably the biggest challenge I'm facing with PentesterLab. I have like a lot of other small challenges around like creating content, creating labs, customer supports. But I think the biggest challenge is really like, I want to do so many things, and I just don't have enough time.
Yeah, I get the lack of time thing. So I think you already answered this question a bit, but was there like one particular thing that inspired you to create PentesterLab, and like yeah, something yeah, that okay, I have to do it.
Yeah, so I think like I did some live training at conferences, and I had like a lot of content, and I decided to put it online. And I think what really inspired me is I really enjoy like teaching people. I really enjoy like when people got this haha moment when they realize like, oh, this is amazing, this attack is amazing, I can't believe that works, and I can't believe I managed to exploit that. I really like love having that interaction with people. I find it like so enjoyable. So that's why I created, I think that's what inspired me to do PentesterLab. I think more of those moments where you really help people realize like something really hard, and finally they get like, oh, that's amazing, like, yeah, oh, and yeah, I think that's really something that's pushed me, and yeah, that's my favorite part of the job, I guess.
So I think that aligns with who I am as a person as well, because I love learning. That's like my core character trait. So we like yeah, you like teaching, I like learning, so we meet in the middle, and then PentesterLab happened, and yeah, I think it's amazing. So okay, my next question it's also from Adrian actually. Do you see when people are cheating or doing shady stuff on PentesterLab? I'm not sure if you can answer that, but yeah, just maybe that was
So
kind of like a joke question.
a few people are trying to do like finding bypasses, finding other ways, and that's really interesting because you can talk about them with what works, what doesn't work, why things don't work. I had a question like this week about someone who was trying to exploit something in a different way, and I had to like dig for like a few minutes to say like, okay, why this payload doesn't work? It looks like it should be working, but it doesn't. And I think that's really interesting because they learn things and I learn things because I don't know everything. So I need to dig a bit deeper and a bit like that makes me better and that makes the content better. So yeah, I think the main problem around like people doing like unexpected thing is more around like credit card fraud and things like that, which is not as nice to deal with. But no, like aside from that, no, that's mostly like people doing the right thing and being here to learn. And I don't have like a lot of like people really like being bad. I guess most
Yeah,
people are just learning.
we are just here for the knowledge and like we are being nice and ethical, so that's good to hear.
Exactly.
And okay, another question. What was your, I think I understood like your initial vision from PentesterLab was that you just wanted to share knowledge and like the content that you had before, but
Yeah.
have you noticed that it evolved over time? Like, is that vision different now for you?
Um, I think the vision is still very much the same, like creating awesome content, teaching people, uh, putting like the best content I can put together. The content has changed because I started with easy things and now it's more and more complex. It's more and more code review. So yeah, I think the vision is still very much the same, like creating a high quality content, teaching people as well the right thing, not just like giving them like run this script, but teach them how to write the script, how to like do their own thing, so they don't rely on someone like publishing a script. They can be the person writing the script, and explaining via videos on code review as well what does like vulnerable code looks like, why it's vulnerable, what the issue is, and things like that.
I think that's a very good way to teach people because I think that's, I don't know, for me, the most important part is that I understand what I'm doing and then I can really, yeah, move around easier. But if I don't know, people rely on scripts that they can copy from someone else or like walkthroughs on some I don't know, some things that they can just copy paste and get the certification or like the diploma from the course. I think that takes away of their power to be self-sufficient in a way, you know. So I think it's very good that you're teaching it this way, so people could actually, yeah, rely on themselves more and like on their knowledge and like the brain power, not like something that they find online. So yeah, I think that's really good. And
Definitely.
another, yeah, were there any specific gaps in web security education that you aim to address with PentesterLab?
Um I think a bit of everything. Uh, like the interesting thing is that everyone comes from a different background, so they have different blind spots. So I'm trying to address all of that and make it easier for them to like for everyone to learn.
Hmm.
So I do a bit of everything, and this way it covers like a lot for a lot of people. Like if you come from a developer background or if you come from a sysadmin background, you have like different knowledge, different understanding, different level of understanding of the same thing. And I'm trying to cover like all these angles and via the content, the labs, the videos, like all of these things. And for example, some people really like the code review videos because that really explain them like, oh, how software works because they come from, for example, like a sysadmin or not necessarily like a computer science background, or they're not programmers. So that really helps them.
And who is the PentesterLab primary target audience? Are the like, I know the answer, but like, was the like beginners, in intermediate learners, or maybe experts? Like, in your opinion?
So PentesterLab right now is not really great for complete beginners. So you need to have a bit of background in computer science, like being able to like play a bit with Linux and things like that. But that's something I'm trying to improve. Um, I'd say I have people from a level up from like a very really beginner So one level up from that, and it goes to like people being like advanced and just who want to brush their skills. Like I have a friend who works in a pretty big red team, and I know he uses PentesterLab to keep up. He uses PentesterLab because he finds it fun. He uses PentesterLab to prepare for interviews and things like that. And yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good resource actually, and like I'm also in on the job search, so keeping myself active and like not getting rusty like with my skills and like even remembering the right comment at the right time. I think that's like a very good yeah your platform to actually do that, and it's really important in cyber when you become the penetration tester or work in a red team that you just don't sit on the laurels. That's how we say it in Poland. That you just don't do any more studying. Just you feel like I don't know you're just there, but it's important to keep on learning every day. So yeah, that's yeah, and you I really like that you can do like small challenges every day. It doesn't have to be like a big material from PentesterLab. So yeah, I just wanted to say that because I'm a learner. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, what in your opinion sets PentesterLab apart from other security learning platforms?
Um, a few things. So first, I think security code review. That's probably something we have that a lot of platforms don't have, or they don't. They teach security code review as part of exploitation, where we teach security code review to not just write exploit, but to find like vulnerabilities and weaknesses. Another thing is that we have everything in one place. So a lot of those platforms, a lot of other platforms, what they do is they accept challenges from anyone. And we don't do that. We create our own challenge. So it's all done internally. It's all like we have a lot of curation. Like we have just like a path to get better, and it's just like not like everyone creating content. And also like I didn't finish, but we have everything in one place. So we have the labs, we have the videos, and we have the course in one place. So you don't need to go to YouTube and like watch the video of someone who solved the lab but maybe didn't understand it or didn't understand it properly. Like the video is done by people who wrote the lab, so it's really easy to like you're sure that there is no mistake. It's not like or it's at least less likely. And yeah, I think that's what we're offering. And we do one thing: we do web security, like code review pen test, and we do one thing really well. So we go in more depth, and we teach people how to create their own tool, not just like use one tool. For example, there are other platforms where we teach how to attack JWT, like JSON Web Token, and they use a tool named JWT_tool, named by someone who created this tool by learning on PentesterLab.
Oh, that's
So that's something I'm very proud of. Oh, like as a teacher, I didn't do any work. I just like created the content, but this person decided like, okay, they, based on the content, they created this tool that everyone is using nowadays, and this is based on PentesterLab content. This is done by solving PentesterLab content. So that's something I'm really, really proud of, because that's what I want people to learn. I want them to be like sufficient. I want them to be able to like do their own research, not relying on someone publishing a tool, but being able to write their own tool. Like, you know, there is a saying like, teach a man to fish and give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. That's basically what I'm trying to do. I don't want people to run just like command line things. I don't want people to just like get someone else exploit. I want people to really like understand what they're doing and understand why an attack works, how it works. And a lot of the videos are around like how to write your own script to exploit a bug. They are hard video to make because I try to do them in Ruby and in Python, but I think that's where the value is like, okay, you are going to learn how to like quickly put together like 20 lines, 30 lines, 50 lines of Ruby, Python, or whatever to solve this challenge. And you don't rely on someone else's work, you create your own thing. And one last thing where I think we are, PentesterLab is better, is that We don't have an attack box. You don't have a system that you use to bounce, or you're not in a VPN. You're attacking real web applications. And what happens is that most of the time people don't understand that they need a public IP address to do that if they want like a reverse shell or something like that, or like even having the application download a page. And because they learn with attack boxes or they learn with VPN. And when they arrive on, like when they attack like real targets on PentesterLab or in real life, they don't understand why the exploits don't work. And like for me, that's key. Like you should the lab environment should be as realistic as possible. Otherwise, people don't understand like all the moving parts of an exploitation, and when they like attack a real target, they don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's a problem on a real assignment then, you know. Like,
Yep.
like I remember actually like when I became the penetration tester and I was a junior, so I was kind of like, okay, you can hire me and then I will learn on the job in a way. But I learned everything that I knew at that certain point that I was hired from Kochany. And then I started a real assignment and I understood like, okay, I know nothing. This yeah, this is not the same as you know in the labs, and it was like whole different world. So actually, that's really good that you guys teach people this way. And I wanted also say that you must be so proud that from your content someone is creating things and like creating their tools. So it means that yeah, it created a good content and it's working. So yeah, yeah. Bravo,
Thank you.
that's what I wanted to say here. And my next question would be, how do you ensure your content remains up to date with the latest vulnerabilities and security practices?
So I do a lot of research. I read, so first I read like bug bounty reports, I watch security research, I read blog posts on latest security research. I look at a lot of CVs, like probably like between, I don't know, anywhere between 50 to 100 per week. Not like a full analysis, but just like looking at a CV, say, oh, this is interesting, but we already cover it. This is interesting and we don't cover it, so let's cover it now. I have a lot of very smart friends who talk to me about security and new attacks. I looked at CTF write-ups. What I do on every Monday, or depending on where you are, but Sunday if you're in the US, but Monday if you are in Australia, is we publish a list of new research, like on Twitter, LinkedIn, and as a newsletter. So we send basically everything that I found interesting in the last 7 days. And that's basically a lot of content that I go through as well. It's a lot of work, very, very interesting work. And I'm really happy I'm getting paid to do that. And that really helps, like keeping the content up to date, adding new content. And I think I've been, as part of my previous jobs, I have been running teams. So I know as well like what people need to learn and what will make them like better hacker, to a lack of a better word. Like some things are interesting because the exploit is interesting, something interesting because the vulnerability is interesting. And I'm trying to like filter through all the noise so people don't have to.
What key skills do you think are the most essential for a successful pen tester yeah, in this year and beyond?
I think curiosity, like being curious is really important, like really important skill set. Not giving up, attention to details. All of those are really important. Technical skills, I think being willing to look at source code nowadays is more and more important. If there is one skill set that I think really split apart people who are going to get people who are good and people who are going to be really good, it's definitely code review, in my opinion. Like not even code review, the ability to read code. Because if you are targeting new technology or looking at new targets and things like that, there's not going to be a tool to do that. And or there's not going to be like a checklist to know like what you need to test. Or there's not going to be like a documentation or blog post on that technology. And that's why you need to actually read code to understand what is happening, how the tool work, and the internal behavior of the application you're trying to attack. And I think reading code and reviewing code to an extent is probably one of the most important skill, especially in the near future, because more and more applications are getting harder and harder to hack. So you need to find things that, for example, Burp Suite will never find.
Yeah.
And to do that, you need to read source code most of the time.
Yes, I think it's also useful. It's kind of like a joke, but sometimes you can find hard-coded things that are really interesting or something in the comments that shouldn't be there. So it's also important to look into the code, in my opinion.
Definitely.
And because we are kind of like brushing on this subject, what advice would you give to someone just starting out in the web security as a pen tester?
That's a good question. I think you need to be patient. One of the big issues I see, and that's why a lot of people are very happy with PentesterLab, is that we don't have gamification. And gamification is great because you're like, oh, I need to like be the leader on the leaderboard for my country. I need to be on the top 1% or whatever. But the problem is that when you focusing on gamification, what a lot of people do is they just want to finish the lab because that's how they rate the way they are learning. If I finish a lab every day, it's really good because I'm going to be in the top 1% or whatever. The reality is that if you want to get better at this, your goal is not to be in the top 1%. Your goal is not to be the top of the leaderboard. Your goal is to learn and understand. And by like using gamification, you're actually spoiling your learning experience. You're focusing on the wrong thing. And it may not be obvious right now, but long term, it's gonna impact the quality of the thing you learn. So I think, regardless of the platform you pick, don't focus on like being like top of the leaderboard or finishing like one lab a day or things like that. Try to just make sure every day you're learning something new and you really understand what you're doing.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. And from my own experience, I always also wanted to mention I already said that I started on TryHackMe, and I really got into the gamification. So I got the first percent in like a few weeks because I was doing so much labs every day. But and then I wanted the streak, so I did a challenge every day. But sometimes, life happens and you don't have enough time to do the challenge. And so what I ended up doing was doing the challenge only to get the streak and only to get the leaderboard thing, and not to actually learn the things that I was doing, just to rush through the challenge and like get all of the flags and then uh, do the things that I actually had to do that day. So there is like a very good point that yeah, it will bite you at the end because you focus on the wrong thing, and actually it's important to understand first and create I saw a comment in the chat, and create good notes, and so also that one is good. So yeah,
Definitely.
so good that you mentioned that because it's like very true, and maybe not everyone understands that. Like being young and hacking, it's so awesome, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that's yeah, you like really like pick whatever platform you want, but make sure you're learning.
Yeah,
Will be my advice.
like you're doing that for the right reasons, not for like the fame and glory, but can you actually exploit it on the job? Do you
Yeah,
understand it? Okay.
definitely.
How do you balance practical hands-on learning with theoretical knowledge in your content? It's a strange question, but
Um, so all of our labs are hands-on. As in even the code review one, you're actually reviewing like proper source code. we don't really have labs where it's just like learning for now, but I think that's what we need to add more of for beginners, because there's a level of foundation that is assumed as part of PentesterLab, and I want to lower that barrier. And I think to do that, I need content that is less hands-on. But otherwise, everything is hands-on, because I think that's the best way to learn. As in, I'm regularly like running workshops as well at conferences, and you will be surprised on how many people, and me included, think they understand something, and when they need to do it, they realize that, okay, those like 5 details are completely missed. Like they went up over my head like so badly. I really like I completely miss that. And because when you do it, you have to understand all the details. You have to understand like all the moving parts and everything. And that's why I think it's key. Like if you're learning via a platform or a course where there is no like a hands-on component, I don't think you're really learning.
Yeah, that's
Or
very true.
you are learning, but you're gonna get in trouble once you need to do the hands-on part. Because I think when you're learning like with just a course, you understand probably like, let's say even like 50%, but those 50 missing percent that you don't learn, that's the difference between like finding and not finding a bug on a real job. Because there are like so many details that you may miss, like you really need hands-on. Like if you want to learn, use something with a hands-on component. Otherwise, like you're not really learning. You're not learning as well as you could be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted to say that actually because I used to learn like I like to read books, so I read the book, but sometimes no, I don't have the lab to follow like the things that I just learned, so I end up forgetting the things that I learned about by just reading or watching the course, because and you have to practice this, and then you will. That's how you remember things, or maybe. Uh, I also like, for example, when that's maybe not a very good example, but when I'm reading a book, I make notes on the side of the book or like in the notebook next to me. So then I remember more by doing, like, I know, writing about the things that I just read. So you're not using your passive memory, but also the active one. The hands-on is really important.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe like how many times I have like people through customer support who are frustrating. They're like, oh, I can't exploit that. And I'm trying to help them, but I don't want to give them the solution. I'm just giving hints. Not really good for business, because for me, it's like 10 emails instead of 2 emails. Mm-hmm. But for them, then they realize what they did wrong on their own, and just based on the hints, and like the response is like, oh, thank you so much for not telling me what was the answer, but just like helping me like finding it on my own. I will remember that for the rest of my life, because I spent 10 hours messing around with that little mistake. So I'm sure I will never do that mistake again.
Yeah, that's really important. Yes, that must feel good. Oh, I can see a question in the chat. How about write-ups when you can pass through a lab? Is it good for you, or do you need to avoid it at any cost?
So I think with PentesterLab, what I do is that I try to do write-ups that are just enough. So at the beginning, there is like a lot of writing up, and then it's getting less and less. And we also have videos. So what I advise people is that if you get stuck and get like you can't do it anymore, like you're just fed up, you just want to move on, is watch the video with the walkthrough, and then maybe like 5 days, a week later, come back to the same lab and solve it again. So there's nothing bad about like watching a video or doing like a walkthrough or reading a walkthrough. Like all of these things, it's just like come back later to it. This way you show that first it's really good for memorizing things, to like having like a bit of time before like doing something again, and doing something again as well, like help learning and help mostly remembering. But just do that. Like I read write-ups, I watch videos of people exploiting things. It's just like, okay, if I really want to remember it, I need to get back to it later on. And that's why I advise people. It's just like, okay, watch the video. There is no shame in watching the video. Everyone like learn differently. Everyone has different background. But if you do that, try to get back to the lab like 5 days or a week later.
Yeah, and also I wrote that actually in the chat, but sometimes I watch the like a walkthrough for like the moments that I'm stuck in, so not to, yeah, I try to solve it myself first, and then if I'm stuck for more than an hour, it feels like a waste of my time, chasing my own tail, and then maybe I need a different perspective, so I watch just a piece of the thing that I'm stuck in, and then try to solve the rest of the lab myself. Or I like when I just started with learning on Hack the Box, I watched the whole write up, like the walkthrough, or read the write up, just to understand what is happening in this box and like learn from someone else, because that's like my first time. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I want to do it the right way, like other people do. So that's why I think this is like a good resource to like understand like at the very beginning, but then I would encourage, if anyone is doing like the challenges, then try to do it on your own first, and then not use the write-ups or any help, because it will be like like a clutch to your feet, and you have to learn to walk on your own. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and asking yourself like, oh, why I didn't think of that? Why I didn't try that? Or I tried that, but it didn't work. Why it didn't work for me? And this way, you're like really improving the way you learn, because you're like, okay, you understand the reason or on what, like why you didn't solve it on yourself, like really asking yourself like why, like why I didn't know, why I didn't find that, why I ran the wrong command, or where did things go wrong. And I think that really helps people, like again, like remembering, registering what mistake they commonly do, and this way the next time they get stuck again, they can say like, okay, why this is not working. Because a lot of exploitation is actually just like smart debugging. Like, okay, I'm going to be like, okay, this doesn't work. Why? Is it not vulnerable, or am I doing the wrong thing? And it's just like debugging that again and again and again until you are like 99% sure that it's not vulnerable, or you are doing the right thing and you can exploit it.
Yeah, exactly. And another question would be, which lab or challenge are you most proud of, and why?
Ooh, that's a good one. There are a lot of labs that I really like. One is named API to Shell. I think I really liked it because it's like a type confusion attack in PHP, but using JSON. And I don't think it was like research that was available at the time, what I published in that lab. And it's really like step by step. I also have labs around like intercepting TLS, using like old vulnerability in iOS, like iPhone and macOS. I think I really like those labs because it helps people understand TLS, and not many people understand TLS properly, me included. No one understands TLS properly, I think. But I think most of them I'm really proud of. Some of them are cool. Some of them were like hard to put together. Like I have challenges on OAuth 2 and SAML. They were a pain to put together. They were really, really painful. And but now they're here and they're working, and people learn OAuth and SAML thanks to that. So I'm really proud of that as well. So I'm proud of all my labs for different reasons. Let's say that.
Yeah, they're like your children because you created them, right?
Exactly.
So, are there any plans? AI is like very a buzzword. I don't really like, yeah. But I will ask this question, but I will not. That will be the only question that I will ask. So, are there any plans to introduce new technologies or methodologies such as AI-driven attacks into the labs?
That's a good one. So AI, like attacking AI, like LLM could be interesting. I don't have plan to do that because right now, because I have like so much other content that I want to get through. I use AI like every day to do things for PentesterLab, but I think attacking AI right now is very trendy and very and that a lot of people are talking about it, but at the same time, I don't see it as something that is very different to other things. Like, I don't think there's like, it's trendy, so everyone is talking about it and everyone is making lab about it, but I don't think it's that different to other things. And I think there are probably like a better subject to cover right now than AI.
Are there any emerging technologies or attack vectors that learners should be aware of, in your opinion?
If you're like really attacking things, you need to keep up with what developer and DevOps team are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So following up on what project they like starting to adopt, what they are working on, and that's probably the list of things that you need to look at. Things haven't changed a lot in our security research. Like, it's basically the same thing that come again and again in cycles. Like, you have new attacks, obviously, but it's not like someone came up with something like so revolutionary that everything you need to relearn from scratch. Web3 is very interesting. Like, aside from the like economy of it, but like the technical details are really, really interesting. But yeah, that's probably it.
That's it. Okay. Thank you. That's a very good answer, I think. And that's a question actually for myself. Black Friday, will there be any special offers on PentesterLab? Because I'm into buying spirit.
Yes, we have a Black Friday special during Black Friday, and I think it's 146 US dollar instead of 199. And we do a discount for students as well. And yeah.
But it's already online, or you need to
Oh
wait
no, in a month,
in a
in a
month? Yeah,
bit, yeah,
Black
in a
Friday,
month,
November. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Understand.
November, yeah.
Uh, okay, so how I will ask some questions about impact and community engagement now. How do you measure the impact of PentesterLab on its users and any success stories you would like to share? I think you shared the one like from person creating tools, but is there any other maybe?
Yes, I have someone. I think I put like a tweet. I put something on Twitter around like the impact of PentesterLab, because I wanted to have like some review to put on the website, and someone told me that they managed to get a visa to move to another country, and it was like a skilled-based visa, and what they put for that was all the badges they had on PentesterLab,
Oh,
and that allowed them to get like to another country and then get a job in that country, and that helped them like a lot. So that's something I'm very proud of, because I had to go through the same thing when I moved from Europe to Australia. I had to do I had like a skill-based visa, so I had to like put things that to demonstrate what I was able to do. So being helping other people do that, I think I was really, really happy with that. I have like people like getting new jobs and saying like, oh yeah, that was like a good part of that was thanks to PentesterLab, thanks to what I learned. And so that's something I'm really proud of. And I regularly get emails from people like, thanks, Louis, like you really helped me with my career. You really helped me with finding that job. And that's something like, yeah.
that must feel really rewarding for you that you're
Yeah, like,
helping people change their lives.
yeah, that's really something I'm very, very, very proud of. That's, yeah. But yeah, it helps.
Oh yeah, you mentioned Australia now, so yeah, actually I left this question for the last, but can you tell me what are Australian companies good with their cybersecurity homework?
Yeah, yeah. Like, I think like everyone in the world, they're trying their best. It's hard. Like you can tell. Like, so I used to work for a US company as well, and you can tell that the level of maturity is not necessarily the same. They're a bit behind like US company on some things, but it's a good country to live in, and yeah, I'm really happy here.
Yes, definitely
But
warm and blue skies. Yeah.
uh, Yeah, most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I live in Poland now, so there's a lot of cloudy days where I don't really see the sun for months sometimes. So uh, like Australia sounds really amazing to me. And
Yeah. You said Poland.
sorry, Poland,
You're in Poland, right?
Poland, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was there 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I didn't know. That's how
Uh,
did you like it?
I really liked it. I went to Krakow for the OWASP meetup,
Okay,
and but yeah, I did a talk there with Greg from BBRE,
okay.
Bug Bounty Report Explained. So we both did a talk, so that was really good. Yeah, no, it's a nice country. Like not as warm as Australia, but very nice.
Yeah, and actually, I think Krakow is one of the prettiest cities in Poland, so I'm happy you got to see it. The Market Square is on the UNESCO list as
Okay.
yeah, for its no, traditional architecture and I guess beauty. And yeah, but I just wanted to say that because actually Krakow is my favorite city, so yeah, I'm happy that you got to see it. Uh,
Nice.
okay.
And actually, while we're at it, I think we met in real life in Canada, but I didn't realize it was you.
Oh yeah, probably yeah. I actually yeah. So yeah. When I'm like in this social environment like conference, I don't really remember like to connect the faces of people with like their like image on LinkedIn, like their name and like what I know about them from LinkedIn. And sometimes is yeah that is possible that this could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we both did a talk in Montreal last year or the
Yes.
year before. Yeah,
Yeah. Last
yeah.
year. Yeah. That was my first conference. And But I'm coming back this year, yeah, like in a week. Uh,
Nice.
so yeah, I heard you're not going to be there, so that's a shame. I hope
No,
I was hoping to actually meet you in person.
no, like too many travel this year, so I'm trying to
Yeah,
like slow down a bit.
yeah, the jet lag is not so nice.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's very hard.
And how, if we are talking about conferences and communities, how important is community interaction to PentesterLab's success, and how do you foster it?
So it's very, very important because I think that's where people start or where most people should start is trying to go to like local meetups and things like that. And I really enjoy that. Like it's such a small community as well. To give you an example, um, when I was in Krakow, I was talking with someone like really nice guy that someone else introduced me to because it was a friend of a friend. And so we talk, and then we realized that we both used to work with the same guy
Okay.
in San Francisco. So both remote, but we knew the same person, and like yeah, and yeah. So it's a small community, and I think it's important because uh, the security industry is really the security community is really important because that's often how you find your jobs. That's how like good people find good jobs as well. And helping the community is important by doing talks, by going to meetups. I've been like going to meetups in Melbourne and in other cities like for a long, long time. Um, and like it's good to be around people who are interested in the same thing and learn from each other, share and things like that. A lot of my best friends are like from the security community and people I like met through works or through meetups and things like that. So yeah, it's really important. And PentesterLab does a lot of sponsoring of CTF meetups and things like that in like a lot of countries. I don't know, India, Madagascar, Australia, and all of that. So we do a lot of that because it's really important, I think, to help people. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually why I started to share my knowledge on LinkedIn because I remember how difficult it was for me to enter cyber, and I wanted to be kind of like a senior that I didn't have when I was a junior to other people. So that was and what I wanted to also say about the community involvement. I did grow a lot on LinkedIn and like fast, but actually the people that I met online and then met again on conferences or like meetups or yeah, that those people are actually my friends now. And that's actually I met Adrian last year first time just because I knew him from LinkedIn and then in person, and now he's my best friend. So yeah, just wanted to say that community is really important. And also, when I was, I'm looking for a job right now, I received a lot of rejections of the like the job opportunities that I just sent my CV on. But actually, those that give me good interviews and chances to get the job are the ones that I knew someone from a training that I went in person, and that person recommended me, or someone that already knew me and watched me for a few years on LinkedIn and said, okay, we want to hire you now. So yeah, the community is really important. Sorry, you wanted to say something, and yeah, I couldn't stop talking.
No. Adrian is a very nice person. I quickly met him at in Canada as well, and yeah, really, really nice person. Someone who you met at a meet, a random person, but that may be your boss in 2 years.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
so it's
be nice
important.
to everyone.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm sharing as well. So be kind. Like I'm doing it for like a different reason because I know like the cyber is really tough, and you may struggle with some things that yeah happened before you entered. I don't know. People just have all different things that happened to them, and I went through like a big traumatic event when I was in Netherlands. I got really sick, so I'm still like a bit recovering from that experience. So just being kind to people because you don't know what they are dealing with, and you just don't make their life harder. But actually, that's a fair point. That being nice to someone because he could be your boss in a few years. That's actually very smart.
And also try to find like infosec, like security is huge. So try to find like the community that resonate or that works for you. Like don't go to one meetup and like be like, oh, okay, those people are jerks or I don't understand them. Like, and stop trying to be part of a community. Like you have like a lot of conferences, a lot of meetup, a lot of Discord, a lot of Slack, and a lot of different community. Try to find one that works for you. And don't like if you find one and it doesn't work for you, don't give up because there are like community more focused on technical details. There are community more focused on architecture, big level like view of security. People like community more focused on helping beginners. Like there are like there is not like one security community. There are probably like thousands of tiny communities. So try to find one either like in real life or even online that works for you, and don't give up if the first few experiences you have are not great, because you may like not be in the right place for that community, or that community not being the right fit for you as a personal as a person. So don't give up if like the first two or three community are really bad or don't work for you, or you don't feel like going. Try to like keep trying until you find one that works for you, I think.
Yeah, that's a very good advice, actually. So, because sometimes you may feel that you get burnt a bit on the first one, and you say, "Oh no, I'm not going to leave my house," or something. But actually, you can find the right people for you, and also what I believe, like the things that you're searching for are searching for you. So if you just be yourself and yeah, don't pretend to be anyone else. I think you know best how to be yourself, so just be that, and then by just yeah doing that, you will find the right people, and because they will look for you as well, and they will resonate with what you represent as a person. So that's a very good yeah advice actually.
Thanks.
Okay, so do you collaborate with companies, universities, or the government bodies to enhance web security training?
Not really. I teach people, so government, company, and university use my content to teach,
Okay.
but I don't really collaborate with them. Um, but no, not at the moment.
But maybe that's
Like,
something for the future. That's okay. Just
yeah, no, yeah, I mean, definitely something to think of, and yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, and that's a very like unusual question maybe. How do you have you seen any particular trends or types of learners that surprised you?
So one thing that really surprised me when very early on with PentesterLab is videos. I really don't like watching videos to learn, but a lot of people do,
Yeah, I
and
do.
that's something that surprised me. So yeah, that's probably one of the big thing. Then you have like weird surprise. You have like people who don't come from security, who are, for example, JavaScript developers, and they go through the lab and love them and smash them and like they really like kill them. And you have people who are pen testers and even senior pen testers who just don't get it. They just like can't solve them. They need like hand holding the whole time and things like that. And I was also surprised by that. And that's why as part of PentesterLab, we like offer like a money back guarantee, because a lot of people are like, oh, do you think it's too hard for me? Do you think it's too easy? Do you think I'm just like, try it and see if that works for you? Because I have seen people who don't have like a computer background, computer science background, like loving it, smashing through the lab, like having like a lot of fun time. And then I see people who are like in security and just like don't like it. Like it's like, oh, it's too hard. I need to think, or like, yeah, like we just like get blocked and can't progress. So that's why like I was really surprised by that. But like people either like exceeding expectation and like smashing it in a way that, yeah, or people who I thought like would be like, oh, maybe it's too easy for them, and just like, okay, no, that's actually they just don't want to put the work in.
Yeah, those people exist really. And so like from my side, I'm a visual learner. So that's what you said. It's surprising to you that I learn best when there's like an example of the things. So I don't always understand the things that they're asking me to do, but if there is an example, I already know what they, yeah. So that's why a visual learner, and the video is also important to me because if I only listen to someone talking, then it puts me to sleep in a way. But if I get engaged also like with visual things, it's like my brain works in a way that, yeah, that's actually how I learn better. So
No, and I think also what I was underappreciating at the time was it's for me some things were obvious, like how to do something in burp, or even the best way to do something in burp, or the best way to write a script, or the best way to do something. And people learn a lot through that, even if it's not directly solving the exercise. It's like, oh, they learn like, okay, oh, actually you can do that if you're in a Linux shell, you can use like a Control L to clear the terminal, or Control D or Control C and things like that. And all these little details that for me were obvious at the time. I don't consider them obvious, and I try to like sneak those in the video as well, so people learn to solve the lab, but at the same time they learn like a few tricks that they may not be aware of. So yeah.
that's really good. Added bonus, added value. Yeah. Okay. I have some questions. I just need to pick the right one. Yeah. Uh, do you see PentesterLab adopting virtual reality or other immersive technologies for enhanced learning experiences? That's a very strange question, but maybe you have some really sci-fi ideas already.
um, that could be fun. Maybe to do some meetups or things like that, but for learning the content, I think it will be distracting for most people.
Yeah, I think so.
But that could be a good way to do meetups or to do like online course and things like that.
Or
But
like yeah, wow, people on the conference or something.
yeah, exactly. Like on the hacking part, I think what I really like about the content as well that I put together with the video is that you don't need any tool. Like you just need like a Linux with a free version of Burp Suite or Zap Proxy. And Adding more technology makes that harder. Like ideally, someone with very little money should be able to do the course and learn from it. And if you add like more complexity, more technology, it like the barrier to entry gets higher and higher.
Yeah. And yeah, actually, that's I'm going to personal journey questions. So, what sparked your interest in cybersecurity? Can you tell us more about your journey into the field?
So I started like doing computer science pretty late, like looking at writing HTML and things like that. Probably only when I was probably 15 or 16. And then I got like into TCP/IP, C, C++, and these things. And so I decided to like go into like study computer science at university. I studied mathematics, electronic, and then moved to like computer architecture, and finally did like a master degree in computers in infosec. And at the same time, I was doing like a engineering degree in computer science and computer architecture. But I think what really interested me is messing around with people. Like we had this big hands-on class where we were all in the same room, and we had like a network of computer, and like I love like messing up with people, like pranking people. Like we had this thing that we call the toaster. It's like, you know, when you had like old computer, you have like the CD-ROM reader,
Hmm.
and I was like SSHing to like all the system in the lab environment and like running eject on all of them. So like all the CD-ROM were opening at the same time. And like this kind of like messing around and things like that probably like really got me into it. And then more and more of that, and reading source code, finding bugs, like all these things. Yeah. And then more and more, I did like an internship in security, and that got me even more hooked. And yeah, I think I really like as well the engineering challenge, like before finding bugs, trying to understand how things work, and then looking for bugs, as opposed to a lot of people are just looking for bugs. I really like to understand, like, okay, this is how it works, this is why it works, and then say like, okay, can I find bugs now? And I really like putting finger parts, like, yeah, and testing and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
also, I'm a massive nerd. I'm a massive nerd, I guess.
yeah. I think I'm one too. So, I guess for high five.
Virtual Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Uh, but and you mentioned something with like the CD-ROM that you played around. I played around with that as well, and there was also a comment in the chat that is classic. So I think everyone had like the moment of, oh, this is so cool, I can do that. I didn't know. It's like, yeah, when you discover things like that, it's like what gets you hooked and like excited about cybersecurity actually, and oh, IT as a whole actually. Uh,
Definitely.
and if you could give one piece of advice to aspiring pentesters or security professionals, what would it be?
Um, Stay curious. Like, I think a lot of thing around security is being curious and like challenging assumptions. I think one piece of advice, I don't know, like I got thousands of pieces of advice. That's
You
my
can
problem.
do three if you want.
Uh, I think don't be afraid of staying technical. Like when I was fresh out of school, people were saying like, "Oh, if you're still like writing code in 3 years, you're probably like messed up your career and things like that." And I think that's not as bad nowadays. I think people realize that you can be technical and still have a good career. But yeah, like stay curious, challenge assumption, and yeah, stay technical if it's what you like. Yeah, there is no. It's not bad to become a manager, but you don't have to become a manager to like have a good career as well.
But yeah, I came up like I remembered something that yeah, when you are at school, then and I used to have like very big glasses, so yeah, people call you a nerd or like something, or you're good at math, and then people call you a nerd. But actually, when you're an adult, it's really cool to you have to. It's something to be proud of that you are a nerd, that your brain works in a particular way, and it pays well. So I don't know,
Yeah.
you know. So what I would say is just be yourself and like don't listen to what other people tell you how you should live your life or what is cool, what is not cool. If that's cool for you, then yeah, that's what you should do. And like yeah, I think I rhymed a bit there as well.
No, no, definitely. No, you're 100% right. And yeah, it's important to say it regularly so people remember. And so you remember as well.
Yeah. And what are some common misconceptions people have about web security, in your opinion?
Uh, ooh, common misconception. People have the impression that it's very easy and that it's boring, and I think that's wrong. People like some people are doing like really good web security research, and it's not boring. It's really interesting. Um, yeah, you don't need. Yeah, I don't know. Like probably that. Like web security is not boring. Web security is really interesting, and over assumption. I don't know. Mm, uh, yeah, no, I think that's probably it.
But yeah, actually, for me, cybersecurity is super exciting, and everything that something new is happening every day, and I get like motivated with, because I mentioned that I'm a learner. That's my core character trait. So I get motivated with there's like a growing environment and something that I can learn every day, something new popping up. So I think that's a very good environment for me. But what I wanted to say that actually cybersecurity industry is one of the like maybe the best industry I've ever been to because I changed my branch 3 times, and now I entered like here, and I don't really want to leave because I do believe like because maybe that's because I'm a nerd, so a lot of nerdy people, a lot of neurodiverse people in here, so I can find like a common language with a lot of people, so I do feel like I belong here and I found my place on Earth, kind of, so. Yeah, I don't think cybersecurity or anything technical is boring. So maybe if someone thinks that way, that just it's not their thing, maybe they should do gardening or like I don't know, go into the fashion industry or something, create TikToks or yeah. But just wanted to say that.
What did
Uh,
you do before?
yeah, I worked for actually. So I will tell you a bit of my story. So I really wanted to study IT, and as a teenager, I was snacking into the physics university because I found out from my friend that they have now I can use computers there and internet for free. So I was like sneaking in there to just learn how it works, to use the chat to meet friends there, and then because of the pressure of like my family and like the society, kind of being a female. Uh, and I wanted to go study computer science, but like I felt like with all of that, maybe I it's not the right place for me, and so I went to study economics, and and then I worked for local government in Poland for 8 years. Uh, I didn't enjoy. I enjoyed the job on the aspect that I had to check the documentation with the projects, and so it was kind of like testing, but on paper, and I didn't know about testing then. So after I found testing, I realized, okay, I was already testing, but it was like with the pencil and paper, like, being, uh, yeah, looking at the documents all day, but kind of like when I entered IT as a software tester, I felt like, yeah, this is the right path, and I'm finally following the things that I actually wanted to do in my life and not what society told me or like, I don't know, my family pushed me to do. And yeah, so that's what I'm sharing on LinkedIn as well because that's the path that I had to take. But sometimes I read like a quote somewhere that sometimes you have to get lost to actually find yourself. So I think that's what happened to me, that I did lost myself for a lot of years, but I found like the right path, and so I'm really happy of that, and that's why I'm just trying to share it on LinkedIn to follow your dreams, to just, I don't know, be yourself, be kind, never give up, and learn every day, because I think that's how you build success in cybersecurity, and yeah, you become a very knowledgeable person. So yeah, I
Good
hope
on
that
you.
hope that answered your question.
Definitely does. Yeah, hey, that's really cool.
And my next question would be like, I wanted to ask actually a different one, but maybe this one is better. How do you relax when you're stressed?
I go for runs. I run and spend time with the family, but not necessarily less stressful. But yeah, no, I like running, surfing, sport, swimming, like everything that gets my head out. And yeah,
So Australian waters are safe for surfing? Because yeah, I heard some stories that there are like a lot of animals that are trying to kill you there. But I actually want to learn surfing as well, so just asking for myself, I guess.
statistically, they are safe. Statistically, yes. Yeah. So yeah, we have sharks and things like that, but it's rare. It's rare. Like you need to be a lot in the water to be like to get attacked. So yeah,
Okay, so
that's why I'm hoping. Yeah, touching wood.
yeah, you're probably hoping that will stay statistically for yeah for the whole time.
Exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, I'm a cyclist. So after we wrap up, I'm going to go cycling in the forest. So that's how I keep my head
Nice.
clear. So actually, yeah, sports is I really want to learn surfing, but Poland is not very good surfing country, probably.
No.
But I'm learning snowboarding now. Yeah, it's kind of like a wet carpet treadmill that you snowboard on. So it's very good for me because I fall a lot and then my knees don't hurt that much, maybe. But probably snow is not. It wouldn't hurt as well. So yeah, but it's good to learn new sports to just relax because cyber is very stressful sometimes, and you have to find that balance. I think.
Definitely.
Okay, what's the I have so I'm finishing with my questions, just a few of them left, but what's the most challenging security vulnerability you've encountered personally?
One I really like is I'm gonna say I think it's CV 2012 6071. I think some like it's a code execution in Wiki, which was a
Oh,
wiki used by Debian, and it's from 2012. But basically, I didn't like I just looked it up and like did a lab on it. It's basically like an exploit where you need to write valid Python and create like a web shell in Python in less than 100 bytes, and it needs to be like a plugin as well for that web application. So it's really, really cool. And yeah, that's probably like the most interesting thing I looked at in a long time. For me, like it was like a really good learning for like Python. Yeah,
thank you for
but I
sharing.
think
Actually, I would look into that. Yeah, I didn't finish. Sorry.
no, I think, but like every bug is like interesting in their own way and challenging in their own way, I guess. Um, really depends. Sometimes it's hard to build the lab for it. Sometimes it's hard to exploit. Sometimes it's hard to understand. Yeah.
Another question: if you weren't involved in cybersecurity, what field do you think you'd be working in?
Wow. um, probably, probably like development or DevOps. Probably DevOps. Yeah, definitely DevOps.
Yeah, I will probably be automating tests right now, the functional still, because that was really cool. I really liked writing Java and using Selenium. So yeah,
Yeah,
probably that.
I like Selenium a lot. It's fun to see the browser like popping
Yeah,
up
yeah,
and clicking.
yeah, and it's so fast. Yeah, actually, that was really fun to write those scripts because I really liked watching how it like clicks all the right things and like prints on the screen like the comments, like that I wanted to share. And then at the end, I really, the really satisfying part was like the green checkbox that the test has
Yeah.
passed. So yeah, very, very nice job there. Okay, wrapping up a bit. So what do you have? Do you have any advice for people wanting to break into cybersecurity without a formal computer science background? Do you think they need any certifications or like any particular knowledge to enter cybersecurity?
So I think the main advice would be like find a community, meet people, because that's probably the most likely way to find a job. Um, I'm not a big fan of certification. I find them like it's a problem with certification for me is that people who are looking for a job are paying for HR people to be lazy, basically,
That's
and
a
that's
good
why I
way
don't.
to put it.
And yeah, so I don't like them, and they're very expensive. And again, like um, another thing I don't like about the certification is that a certification is a picture of you at a point in time, and then you may get it may be the beginning of your journey and you're going to get like 100 times better, or it may be like the end of your journey and you may like get stuck there and never get better. So that's why I don't, or you may even like get worse. So that's why I don't really like certification. um, I think, but going to like meetups, putting your name out there, like creating content, writing content, doing hard things, like I think a lot of the industry is focused on publishing about bugs they found, but no one is talking about bug they didn't find. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm reviewing the authentication of that project. This is what they are doing. This is how they hash the password. This is how they do the login. This is the request that is sent to the database. This is how things work. I didn't find any bug yet, but I can explain how things work. And I think people should spend a lot more time doing that, explaining that, and writing blog posts about this kind of thing because that's really interesting. And that's a good way to demonstrate that you understand what you're doing, or you understand how like software work, even if you don't find bugs.
that's a very good advice, actually. Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, I think, and then going to meetups, talk about people, and even like, let's say worst case scenario, you wrote that blog post and you missed a bug that someone else found. That's not a big deal. That happens. Like, no, a lot of people probably looked at that project before and missed the same bug. And at least you're going to learn something. Like, yeah, I think trying to like put your name out there, creating content, blog posts, Twitter, like interacting with people, community, online community, uh, talking to recruiters as well. People tend to hate recruiters because they like take a big cut, but often they are a really good way to find your first job or like your next job. It's not perfect. They like take a cut and things like that, but it's often like it works. And yeah,
Yeah. And so we kind of pay them for connecting us with the right people that we didn't know before, or yeah, sometimes yeah, technical people may lack people skills that will help them to actually connect with like the right people. So yeah, that's where recruiters come. So yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay. And you said something really smart before that. You know the system right and like how it works, and you didn't find the vulnerability yet. So I think that's a very good way to look at it, that not to beat yourself up that you didn't find the vulnerability. You're still learning, you're still searching, you still like you can find it today or in a week from now, or maybe you will learn about the vulnerability on PentesterLab that you didn't know before, and then you come and sit and look at it and okay, I can see it and from a different perspective. So that's a very good way to look at it from like a growth mindset, that you didn't not, oh, I didn't find, I feel so bad. I didn't find it yet. I will find it soon. So just yeah, never give up and believe in yourself. So yeah, that's
Exactly. And that shows people who want to employ you that at least you're passionate enough to look for that in your free time, and you know a few things already, and they know that from that they can either like be happy with the level you're at, or they can train you because you really like you really like that stuff. And yeah,
Yeah.
and it's sometimes there's no bug to find, but it's interesting as well, like if you do a write-up of like how I don't know, like authentication works in Ruby, normal Ruby on Rails application, that could be interesting. Like people underestimate like what content is interesting, and you don't necessarily need to publish to find a bug to publish something that will be interesting and will be worth reading.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can find bugs. Not many people are good at understanding how a system works,
Yeah. That's
like a system works, and early on, it's probably more valuable to find people like if you want to train someone, you're probably better off having someone who can't find bugs yet, but can like take a system and put it apart and understand like how it's working, as opposed to have someone who can find like 2XSS using Burp Suite automation and doesn't understand how that works.
oh yeah, that's for sure. Very, very, yeah. You have a very smart way of looking at that. So yeah, I'm really happy that I invited you because I'm learning something with talking with you as well. So that's a very good way to have like interact with people on stream. So I also like invited people that I look up to, and so when I'm talking with them, I discover something new about myself or I learn something new. And then if someone else, like from people that watch us, can learn something out of that as well, I think that that makes me happy. So yeah, uh, just wanted to say that it's really good answer. And what are some underrated tools or techniques that every pen tester should know about, in your opinion?
Um, I'm going to get back to it, but I think code review, reading code, like that's probably the best technique. Because people are in pen testing, they're doing too much guesswork. And I think sometimes you just need to like stop guessing and just like reading the source code if you have access to it. Uh, Tools and techniques. I think being good at debugging, being able to like hook up like a debugger on a target and having logs to see what is happening. I think spending a bit of time like reading code, writing code. You don't need to be an awesome developer, but having an idea of like how a web application is built, um, spending time playing CTFs. Yeah, tool wise, I think curl is underrated. You can do so much with curl. Like that's like in a lot of videos with PentesterLab, I'm using curl. Um, what else? You know, like sometimes you don't need a proxy. SOCAT as well. People are talking about Netcat all the time, but SOCAT is so much better, so much better. And SOCAT is amazing. Like if you can use like 10% of what SOCAT can do, you're already like way ahead. And yeah.
I actually was making notes where you were saying those things. It's a good thing to learn. And I actually am guilty of using Netcat only as well. So
Well, that's great, but SOCAT is next level. Like
yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, your point of view gave me like a pause for a moment that maybe I should give it a chance and like give it, yes, look at it again. So maybe when I was like just beginning and like entering the stage, I just needed to find the things that will get me through. But now I'm learning more and like I understand it better. So it's maybe more a time to, yeah, look like outside of like the safe environment.
Nice.
The comfort zone. That's cool. That's next question is kind of like a joke, but maybe you have a nice tips and tricks here. How do you pass customs with a bag full of hacking goodies after a conference?
Uh, I never had any issue. So no, I never, no, never had any issue so far. I'm gonna touch wood again. Like, yeah, no, no, not so far. I'm traveling a lot with like a lot of goodies, but like t-shirts, stickers, and key rings and things like that. But I never had any issue with security, like custom and things like that. No, so far so good.
Okay, so that, keep fingers crossed that
Yeah,
it will stay this way, because
yeah,
yeah, what I learned about, for example, if you travel with lockpicks, then in some country that might be illegal. For example, in Poland, it might be like if you don't have the right, you know, papers for that, like you're,
yeah.
for example, a person that creates keys or opens door for people, then you can be in trouble if you enter the country with and they find it on you. Or
Okay, wow.
in some countries, I heard Canada was thinking about it to make the Flipper Zero a bit more illegal than it is. So
Yeah,
yeah, that could be an issue. But actually, like from my side, I never had any issues as well. But when I was going to Montreal last year, they really scanned me with like the for explosives on every gate that I was passing on my way
oh
there
wow.
and like on the way back. Maybe I don't know why they just chose me, or I was I don't know, wearing black or looked suspicious. I don't know why, but it was. I was like, yeah, do I look like a, I don't know, bomber person? But okay, that was kind of like fun as well. Okay.
Oh,
Uh,
luckily I never got.
yeah. Okay, your favorite hacker movie? What would that be?
Oof. I think I will have to go with hackers. Yeah,
Angelina
like good
Jolie,
old. Yeah, oh, just like the fun of it, the mix between like being ridiculous and so fun and like yeah,
yeah.
I
What
think that's
like a
my
lot
favorite.
of well, a lot of people actually choose this movie, and they say that although it's not very technically realistic, but like the for the hacker culture, like the whole feel of the movie like makes it cool. Yeah, that's why they like it. My favorite
Yeah.
hacker movie is actually The Matrix. And
Okay. Yeah.
I really liked war games as well because
Yeah. War games
it
are good.
felt more realistic actually. And my favorite TV show is Mr. Robot. So actually, the Mr. Robot was the TV show that reminded me of what I actually wanted to do in my life. That I had this dream before, and I kind of like forgot about it. But I think that TV show is why I'm here now. So I'm kind of like makes me feel nostalgic.
Nice.
Okay, so my last question is what's your favorite food? Because I'm a foodie and people in the chat always want to know about your favorite dish. But yeah,
Oh, I don't know if I have one favorite dish. I'm more like a the food goes with the mood. So I love like things like barbecue. I love burritos. I love slow cooked. It's more like sometimes I'm craving something. Um, I like bœuf bourguignon is like a big classic that I make. Um, like sushi as well. Like I love. I have a lot of favorite dishes, like depending on my mood and things like that. But yeah, uh, and I tend to like try things and see. I don't have. I wouldn't say like there is one food I really like more than anything else. Yeah.
for me, that for a long time it was kind of like my obsession food was ramen. But
Okay.
I ate it so much through the last year that I kind of I slowly cannot look at it anymore. But now my new obsession food is cheese, and
Nice.
I tried raclette for the first time in my life a few days ago, and I was so excited. I was jumping there, and
Yeah.
the guy that was like in the booth gave me like the whole show, like with the cheese, how you like you put it under the heater, and then you move it to the side, and then he make like special moves with the knife, show it off a
Nice.
bit, and then put it on the baguette for me, put a black pepper, and it was so good. I was so happy. So I think I'm very similar like you. I'm a foodie, so I like a lot of dishes. I have a lot of like my favorite ones, but it depends on the mood and like the actually temperature outside as well. And yeah, and also like if you eat food in like a good company, you eat with a friend, I think everything tastes better. So yeah, that's good.
Definitely.
And yeah, I ask if there are any more questions in the chat, but no one is really coming forward with that. I think we are waking up a bit, maybe a bit shy here in Europe still. It's 12 a.m. In here. So,
Uh,
do you have anything that you wanted to add at the end? Because I'm out of questions right now, but you can say something about yourself, or like maybe you have a message for people. Okay.
Oh, just thank you for having me. Yeah, no, for people, like just keep learning, keep being curious. Make sure that when you're learning, you actually like learning, you have the right incentive. Solving labs is like not a incentive, like being top one, like being like leaderboard, like top of a leaderboard. No, the goal is to learn and get better. And yeah, make sure you focus on the right thing and have fun doing it. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's. I think that's a very good way to look at it. Important to uh, just not let yourself become rusty. Just keep on learning, keep on practicing, keep working with your brain. Yeah, I wanted to thank you as well for agreeing to come and chat with me. I learned a lot from you. I really love your product. I think PentesterLab is amazing. And yeah, thank you again. And hopefully, I will meet you on one of the conferences in the future because I do have some plans to travel a bit. And maybe because I wanted to go to Australia and sightsee as well. So maybe I can meet you there. So,
That.
but yeah, it was lovely chatting with you. And thank you again. And I guess bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.